I introduced you to request object in the previous topic, wherein I had to insert this request object from the Flask module to capture the URL so that we can find out the word after the last slash in the URL. And based on that, we wrote the code and applied some logic. And in the previous topic, I had also shown you how to capture the parameters which are passed in the URLs using the Flask class. We did not use any request object. But in this particular topic, I'll tell you how you can use request object. So essentially, there are two ways to capture the parameters. One is the Flask class, wherein you provide the parameters in the URL after slash, and then you use them in the program. So in this case, we'll use a separate way wherein we'll leverage the request object to capture the variables or the parameters and its corresponding values that you pass in the URL. And it would be pretty familiar. You might have seen this in a lot of internet websites that you type the website and maybe click a link or click a button and something like this comes up. Question mark, after question mark, the sum name, then equal to, and then ampersand sign followed by some other name and then equal to. So in this URL, whatever you see after the question mark are parameter variables and their corresponding values. In this case, prod underscore id is the parameter variable and 4560 is the value that have been passed for prod underscore id. And multiple variables are separated by ampersand or the and sign. So in this case, price is also another variable name or another parameter name whose value is 230.50. If we use these type of parameter styles, we cannot use the Flask class. So in this case, we'll have to use the request object. So it is an object which is there in the Flask module, and we typically import it like this: from Flask import request. Now once we import the request object, there are various variables and methods that we can use which are provided along with this particular object. And I hope you know what an object is. Object can have its own variables. Objects can have its own methods also. Similarly, the request object that we import, it has some variables and some methods also. I'll be talking about only the most used variables and most used objects in that are used in development. The first one is args, request.args rather. And what happens is that whenever you use this particular variable, all these parameters that you see, those are captured in args or in the args variable. And then those parameter variables and their corresponding values are given to us as a dictionary. In this case, for this particular example, we have prod underscore id and price, which are the two parameter variables. And if we use args, we'll get these two variables with their values in a dictionary like this. Prod underscore id would be equal to 4560 and price would be equal to 230.50. Notice that both of them are string. So if you are planning to do some mathematical function or some integer function, make sure to convert it to that particular data type. Then you have query string, query underscore string variable, which gives us the entire query string, which is prod underscore id equal to 4560 and price equal to 230.50. We'll get the entire query string. We can use it for various operations also. Another important variable is base underscore URL, and it is used to get the URL, which is http:// the entire URL and the API. So basically the URL endpoint. So in this case, it would be http:// URL/get product, because that is the URL endpoint. And using base underscore URL, you can get only the base URL without the parameters. If we use URL, which we had used in the last hands-on, we'll also get the parameters, meaning it would start from HTTP and it would end at 50. This entire string would be captured by the URL variable. But base underscore URL would only capture the URL till the API name. Then we have another variable called request.values, which is similar to arg or args rather, wherein we get the parameter names and their corresponding values in a dictionary. So this is the introduction of the request object. Let's open PyCharm and do some hands-on. And in this hands-on, what we are going to do, we'll complete whatever we had done in the previous hands-on with request object. So we'll capture parameter 1, then we'll capture parameter 1 and parameter 2, and that's it. So that's how we'll do the hands-on using request object rather than using the Flask class. This is the new program ho.03.requestObject.py, which means it is hands-on number 3. In this example, what we had done, we had passed the product ID and the column variables or arguments. We had enforced data type, product ID should be integer and column should be string. Now, if you use the request object, we do not need these variable or argument names here, and we do not have to enforce the data type. First and foremost, we'll have to import the request object, and then what am I going to do is that I'm going to use the same URL endpoint, which is product detail, and we'll capture the variables using the request object rather than using the Flask class. So we'll mention URL underscore args is equal to request.args. What would happen is that the variable URL args would contain the product ID and the column name. So we'll have to get the product ID and I'll capture the column also. And that's it we have to do. Get the URL arguments here using request.args, get it in product ID and column. And then we read the file, parse it, so on and so forth. But one thing you have to remember is that we'll get the product ID, or the product ID would be retrieved as string. So is column. Irrespective of the number of variables that you pass, all will be captured as strings. Now the remaining program would be the same because we are using product ID and column variable, and here also we are using product ID and the column variable. We are matching product ID with the file product ID, and we are matching the column variable with price. So I'll start this program as usual. If I click on play, it would start HO02 Flask API params. So I'll have to right click and click on run HO03 request object, which has been started. And the way to pass it is product detail followed by question mark. So whenever we say question mark, it means that we are about to pass the argument variables. The first one would be product ID, and we'll have to mention product ID here. When you used Flask class, we did not have to mention product ID, but here we'll have to. We'll have to mention the column name. And let's say the product ID is 4465 and followed by an ampersand, then the name of the column, which is actually column, and let's say it is price. And if I send it to the request and it is giving some error, so product underscore ID and column, it says that type error, product detail, missing 2 required positional parameters, which is fine. We'll have to debug it. And the problem is basically what happened is I had copied this from the previous example, right? And if we use, let's say, the Flask class and pass the variables or arguments using Flask class, we'll have to pass those arguments in the function also, but we do not need to do it whenever we are using request object or the request.args variable. So let me remove it. Now let's try it out, and it is working 4465 and the price is 825.52. And here you can see the response. It's a get method / product detail, product ID equal to 4465 and column price, right? So this is how we capture variables using the request object. Now I want to show you a few other things also. So let's look at the other variables also, meaning that what about request dot base URL? Let me return it, and what it will show you is the URL till product detail. And let me send it again. So as you can see, it is showing you the URL till the product detail, not the query parameters. We can also use query underscore string, and if we use the query underscore string variable, it will only show the query variable along with the ampersand sign. And I had already shown you URL earlier, so it will send you the entire URL including the query string. So here, if I use the URL variable, it is sending the entire URL endpoint along with the ID and the column, which are the query parameters and its values. The final one that I had discussed was values. Let's see what it does. I have put the output of request.values variable in the data variable, and I'm returning data. And if I send the request, it is working. So as you can see, it is giving me the product ID and column. Okay, so I have shown you using 2 variables. Let's try with 3 variables. The process should be similar. Okay, so what am I doing here? It is pretty straightforward. I'm just showing you how we can use 3 variables also. And I'll be passing product ID, column, and name. These are the 3 variables that I want to pass. And I'm capturing that in a dictionary called data. And the first attribute of the dictionary would be var1, the second one would be var2, and the third one would be var3. Just wanted to show you that we can pass multiple variables also. So if we have to add one more variable, which is name, I'll mention 3IAM, and that's it. Nothing has to be done. We send it and it shows the var1, var2, var3. var1 is 4465, which you had passed for product ID. var2 is price, which you had passed with price, and var3 is 3IAM, which was passed with name. And this is how we can capture multiple variables also. So you do not have to change anything in the route, app.route rather, but we'll have to incorporate all the changes and the additional variables in the function definition. So that was the introduction of request object. In the next topic, I'll show you how we can use request object with HTTP methods, get, put, post, and delete. But before going there, I forgot to mention or show you one more type of URL wherein we pass the product detail, then a value, and then an endpoint. Can we do that first of all? And if yes, how do we build the logic using these type of URLs? And this is how the code looks like. I have the API product detail slash followed by the variable which is product ID. And then again, after the variable, we have the price endpoint. Now, if you notice, product ID is the argument that would be passed along with the URL, but price is actually part of the URL, not an argument. But I have placed price after the argument. And this is possible only using Flask class. The remaining code logic is exactly the same. We are passing the product ID in the function argument, and then we are getting the word after the last slash by using this -1 and the rest of the logic. So this is how the difference is. Using Flask class, we can actually run a code like this. And not only one, we can have multiple variables also. Let's say product ID slash price slash another variable slash another endpoint. That is also possible. Or product ID followed by another variable followed by the endpoint price. That is also possible. So you can have multiple mixes and matches using the Flask class and using these type of URLs. Let's start the application and then try it out. And the endpoint would change now. It would be product detail followed by the product ID, which is actually an argument. So I'm passing an argument value here and followed by another endpoint. Let's see whether it works or not. And as you can see, it is working 4465 and the price is 825.52. Let's try one more. I'm using name. It is just for testing purpose. I'm passing this name variable and in the function also, and then I have added one more attribute, data name, which would actually be the value of the name that I have passed. Now let's try it out. 4465 followed by, let's say, 3IAM or 3IAM, and then send the request. And as you can see, I have name as 3IAM, price as usual earlier, and then the product ID. Now let's try the last type. After price, I'll have name here. Nothing changes except for the endpoint. Remaining logic is the same. And here, this 3IAM would be after price. So I'm passing the value after this price endpoint. Okay, it is providing an error saying that please provide a valid column, price or quantity. What is happening here is that as I'm getting the last word after the slash, it is taking 3 IAM as the last word, and it is trying to match it with either price or quantity. So what will I do? It's better, let's try quantity here. Let's say QTY, and we'll mention QTY here. And if I send it, I can see the quantity, the name, product ID, price, etc. These are the various different types of URLs that you can actually mention in your application code, and it can be handled using Flask class. But if you are using the request object, you will have to pass the name of the variable and its corresponding value. And if you have multiple variables, then you'll have to separate them by the ampersand.